So moving into the next part, this is question 21. This is going to be from chapter 5, section 5, normal approximations to binomial distributions. So for each binomial probability statement below, determine the corresponding normal distribution probability statement after a continuity correction. So remember, when we do the normal curve, we have to have just inequalities. So I look, this first one, the probability has got to be greater than or equal to 114. So if we put 114 on the table out here, we have to include the 114. So to include the 114, we have to be left of that. So we have to be at like 113.5. So probability of that goes with the greater than equal to 114 would be the probability of x is being greater than the 113.5. So next one we have is less than or equal to 114. To be less than or equal to 114, we have to again, so if I do the 114 to be less than, that means we have to include the 114, which means we actually got to be right of the 114. So we have to actually have the 114.5 here. So if you do to the right of 114.5, that will actually include the 114. So I need something like less than 114.5. So that would be this one here, P of the probability of x being less than 114.5. So next one I have probability greater than 114. Again, to be greater than 114 means I cannot include the 114, so I have to be to the right of it. So I have to be over here. So I got to be greater than 114.5. So this would be this one here. So the probability would have to be x is greater than 114.5. So that would not include the 114. And to be less than 114 means you have to actually be left at 114. You'd have to be at this 113.5. So if I'm at 113.5, then I would not be including the 114. So less than means to the left. So I have to be less than 113.5, which would be that last one there. The probability would be x is less than 113.5. So that's kind of how we would do those. That's helpful. So let's begin chapter 6, confidence intervals. This would be 6.1. So the first question we have is on question 22 is find the margin of error for the given values of C, sigma, and N. So C is the level of confidence is 90, which is 0.90 or 90%. And then we have this standard deviation of 2.1, and our sample size is this 100. So again, to find the margin of error, we need to know this formula up here. So we have Z sub C, which is our critical value for Z, and then we'll multiply that by our standard deviation divided by the square root of N. There's going to be a table for this one. So again, you'll have this table, but again, you can also probably find your Z score by doing your normal distribution. If you do like the number 3, if we have confidence level of 0.90, that's going to be our area of the curve, 0.90. And then left tail, we're going to get, that ain't right. So, take that back. So we got this 1.645 is what I should have came up with. So did something wrong there. I'll try that again. Let's see here. We're getting lost already. Second distribution, number 3. So I guess maybe let's put the 2.1 in there. I don't know. I'm not really sure about that now. All of a sudden here, let me pause for a second.